February, I'm going to be gone 3 out of the 4 weeks.
I thought February was leap month.
I hope it's short.
So you're going to be gone how long?
I'm going to be gone the first week to Raleigh, North Carolina, which is where I was just at last week. And then I'm going to be gone to Tulsa, Oklahoma, second week. Then I'll be home.
You ever lived on Tulsa time? Just asking. I mean,
no. And then I'm going to be home the third week, and then the last week I'm going to Tennessee, I think. We have 4 or 5 yes men in the office, and I'm a fuck you no guy. You know what I'm saying?
Hell no guy.
Yeah. And so,
I've been there and done that.
Well, see, here's the thing. I've realized that, and I learned it from Dad. I didn't learn this part from Dad. You get new jeans? Sorry. They look new.
no, these same ones I had, they're just dark jeans. They just, kind of like.
What if we had a camera? People could see them.
And they could tell. But we don't.
I've seen Earl's jeans before. I'm not that guy. I realized from Dad a long time ago that I don't have to be a yes.
Mama told him to shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back over there and eat something, you fatty. I'm not worried about getting fired. You know what I'm saying? It'd be cool if I didn't. But if I did...
Wait a second. You don't worry about getting fired. It'd be cool if you didn't.
I'm not worried about getting fired. It'd be...
you meant...
From my job, yeah.
It'd be cool if you didn't get fired.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it'd be cool if you didn't worry about getting fired.
Well, I don't... Well, both. I don't worry about getting fired. But
I'm getting confused.
It would be cool if they...
Fired?
No, it'd be cool if they didn't fire me. You know what I'm saying? But...
Well, so far they haven't.
Right.
So it's cool.
So my thing is... How long are we in here? We've been in here 4 minutes. I got
Things already off the rail.
No. Everything's fine. I have to... what is it? No. Yeah, probably soon. When you talk about when you do nonsense talking, what is it called?
Bullshit.
I got to bullshit for another 45 seconds before I start telling this story, because if you cuss in the first 5 minutes, they will not give you ad revenue. Not that we have any anyway.
I was thinking to say, I didn't know there was.
Well, I was going to say, wait a minute, are we in the black?
How do you think we got those lights?
So if you can't cuss in the first 5 minutes,
we got them on a credit card.
Can we just go like a solid line the first 5 minutes, then start?
Yeah.
Okay, we started 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I'm out here just
taking
free balling is what they call it.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
No.
Free balling.
Yeah.
I have underwear on. What are you talking about? Anyway.
I thought that was called camo. Ain't that called camo?
Camouflage?
You know what I'm talking about. You know when you go naked down below.
Oh, you put dandelions around. No. Anyway. 5 minutes. So I don't want to get fired.
5 minutes was up. Did you hear me? 5 minutes.
But if, I'm going to go in a meeting and I'm going to be honest. And a lot of people don't do that. They're yes men. They will, toe the company line or whatever. I'll go in a meeting and motherfuck everybody in it.
There you go.
Directly.
You blew our first 5 minutes. We're done.
No, we're past it now.
Oh, we are? Yeah. Okay, good.
There was a meeting that we had.
You can free spit now.
Yeah.
Spitballing. What'd you call it? Free balling.
Yeah.
Spitballing, I think is what I meant.
3 or 4 years ago, we had a meeting, and I was very upset about a few things, and the ownership group was not prepared for me to be upset. And I went.
Well, let me guess, you dropped the F-bomb.
I went into the meeting that lasted about 45 minutes, and I said the F word probably 111 times. And it wasn't, it was everybody. Everybody got it. Like, I was like, this motherfucker is an idiot. Fuck him, fuck her, fuck you, fuck your kid. I don't want none of this shit.
Dang.
Yeah. And I got it out, and then the next day, it was, hey, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I got it out.
Did you kill anybody last night?
Everything's fine, now. So.
No, ma'am, I ate a Bob bar for breakfast and drank kerosene down instead of coffee.
Yeah.
How you doing?
But
I hope people know that 75% of what we say on here is a lie.
The problem is figuring out which part is true and which is a lie.
Well, that's what I was going to say. 75%
yeah.
is a lie, and the other 40% we just make up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The good news is that is a true story. So we've already got the truth out of the way for today.
Yeah, well.
And it's happened in the past and everything was fine. I didn't get fired after that. So I went into this new meeting and decided, you know what, I'm not going to do that.
Well, you did a smart thing, see. 3 or 4 years ago when you went in. Well, that's right. He went in there all balls out or whatever you say, and saying, I'm going to fuck you. Yeah. But this one he went in and said, hey.
Everything's fine.
And you know what they did? They went,
yep.
You know what's he going to do? Oh, he's all right.
And that's kind of how it goes. The thing is always something's wrong with Caleb. Caleb's upset. And people think that because I don't talk a lot. Like, I'm not a politician. I ain't walking in and saying, good morning to you, good morning. You know, I ain't shaking hands and kissing babies. I ain't doing none of that shit. You pay me to sell shit.
Do you have any babies shaking? What'd you say?
No. If someone handed me a baby, I would put it down. I'm not kill it. I would just not hold it.
Put down a baby?
You know what I'm saying? Like, people will come in the office, like, there's some...
Hey, let me ask y'all a question now. I got to do this. I hate to interrupt you, but I got to do this.
Okay.
You ever blew up the wrong house?
No.
Okay. You talking about pooping?
I just asked it for a friend. I don't know.
Oh. I thought you were talking about pooping. I was like, yeah, I've pooped in a lot of houses.
Is it time?
No. I thought it was.
Why you look in the bathroom?
It's over there.
See if anybody's in there.
Yeah. See if the door's open.
In case you got to run.
Making sure it's prepared.
They done screwed me over on a dang... I got to get back to... What was I talking about?
You was mad about something. I don't know.
No. Everybody thought I was mad.
Oh.
And...
Because you went in there saying...
No. That was years ago. Yeah.
Years ago. Wasn't saying nothing.
Exactly. I was coming into work, doing my job, selling shit, handling customers. Everything's fine.
Talking Chinese people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
next time you talk to them Chinese people, can you ask them about Earl teeth?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that.
You did talk to them already?
Yeah. Give me a second.
They coming over on one of them container ships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second, I'll get there. So I went in a meeting and everybody was like, hey, you know, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you just hadn't talked a lot in the last few weeks. I was like, well, in all honesty, my body hurts, you know, because I got some issues going on health-wise. I said, but if I get quiet and I just don't talk to nobody, it doesn't mean I'm upset. That's a you problem. That's you perceiving that I'm mad about something, which is fair because sometimes I am. So, but this is not the case. Like, I'm just, you know, I'm hurting a little bit, so I kind of stay to myself and do my job, do it well, and everything. I say, everything's fine. And they were like, we just want you to be, approachable. And I was like, well, you can ask anybody in the building, you know, anybody. I said, some people don't like me because I shoot you straight. I mean, I'll tell you, hey, you fucked up, you idiot. And they don't like that. People don't want to hear that, you know. They
just don't want the truth, do they?
No, they want you to tell them, hey, someone made a mistake, and we need to fix it together. We need to
grow some dandelions. Ain't that what he said?
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to tell you, hey, fucking
you
idiot.
Fucked up.
Yeah. I said, so I'm just more direct about it. I said, but you can ask anybody in the building. They can come talk to me, and they, you know, I'm not gonna hit nobody. You know, I ain't gonna punch you. Yeah. I said, and then they kind of realized, like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. And then I decided that I was going to check in on some product that I needed from China. And I was emailing a
Chinese person
named Natalie.
Oh. Bullshit.
It's
I ain't never no Chinese person named Natalie.
It's all bullshit. Like, they don't, the main contact is named April. Her assistant is Natalie and Linda.
No, that's
I'm like,
true.
bitch, they ain't nobody in China named Linda.
No.
Y'all ain't got no Lindas. And I asked them one time, I asked April one time, I said, what is your, this was in person. I picked her up off the floor. And,
so you went to China and picked up?
No. I ain't going to China.
You can't go to China, can you?
Well, I can't.
In China, is everything?
No,
you can't. It's not
legally. I can go to China.
Oh,
but I am not. now the company has said, hey, next year you're going to China. And I said, no, I ain't. And I said, they won't give me a passport.
You afraid they'll keep you?
Yeah, they're going to keep
Make
me.
a sumo wrestler out of it.
That's right. That's what they'll do.
In China, they do things that are called feats of strength, you know?
Feet.
And like features of strength, not like toes and shit. So in China, if you're an anomaly like I am, taller
In China.
and fat, people on the sidewalk will like come up to you and try to hoist me
Beat you
aloft.
up.
No, that wouldn't go well.
They try to hoist you.
They hoist me aloft. They want to see if they can pick me up. Not for sex, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, we don't know.
what I'm saying
We have
is,
no idea what you're talking about.
well, I'm
So
trying
let me
to.
get this right. You got a 73-pound Chinese guy trying to lift up a 300-pound you.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
No, but they want to see if they can do it because they want to tell their friends, he big fat, I lift him. You know,
What is it again?
they want to brag about it.
I lift him.
And it happened to one of my buddies. He's probably 6 or 8 inches shorter than me, but he's the same size as me. And he went to Japan, and he said 3 people came up to him on the street and he thought they were going in for a hug, you know, because he don't speak that language. No, they were trying to see if they could pick him up. Like they want to show off. Like, I picked up a fat person today. And I'm not doing that. I
try to keep that shit a secret.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want nobody to know that.
I don't want nobody trying to pick me up. And I don't want to have to fist fight somebody in a communist country.
Yeah, that could not work out well.
Yeah. Because then they would have to trade multiple lesbians to get me back like they did for you know what I'm talking about? The woman who was playing basketball, smoking weed and got caught. And they were like, hey, we're going to give you a prisoner of war and we'll bring that lesbian back over here. But for me, they're going to have to trade. It's going to be.
It's
It'd
gonna
be a lot,
be
yeah.
fun.
They're going to trade multiple people and draft picks.
Well, hold on. I was going to ask you something. That's what we
Yeah.
got. Over in there in Chinese are they're because all them people like 5'2". Are all their doors like 6 foot high instead of 8 foot or what?
Doors here are 7, right? Is that right, Earl?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I got a little clearance. I think they have normal size. You know what? I don't know. That's a good point because
Well, I don't need them.
their
Why waste
hotel.
that lumber, Earl? I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't waste that extra foot of lumber, would you? You don't need it, and they ain't gonna need it,
Well, they know how to grow lumber.
huh?
Anyway, Chinese people are small, but they have
Big heart.
no.
That's what I tell people all the time.
Yeah.
Whether I'm right or not is not in question.
Yeah.
We know that. You know.
And so then
So what'd you do with your 3 o'clock meeting? Did you get it moved to 3:30?
no, postponed it because I'm
Postponed
going.
it about 3 months.
No, 2 weeks. I'm going back there for a show. And so I told the guy, I was like, hey, man, I'm real sorry. You know, I'm not going to be able to make it. I mean, I'm going to be late. And I blamed it on traffic. I didn't blame it on my boss. And I said, it's a nightmare. He's like, man, he said, I'd hang out. And he said, but I got to go pick up my kids. I said, hey, man, go pick up your kids. That's cool. Go do your thing. I said, I'll come back in 2 weeks and meet you at the show. And he's like, man, that'd be awesome. He's like, if you want to go to lunch, let me know. I'm like, oh, shit.
Now we're
What do you
talking.
mean I want to go to lunch?
He ain't never met.
seen
See, that's the
me?
thing. I don't know what any of these people look like because I just talked to them on the phone or on an email. So he thinks I look like Earl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
and lunch is gonna cost him like $6.50. You get there, you say, oh shit, I got a second mortgage.
Yeah. He thinks I look like Earl. Yeah. I think he looks like Earl.
Yeah.
The problem is when we actually meet, I don't look like Earl. Mm-hmm. A lot of the people I meet with do, which is great for them, you know. But then they see me and they're like, they don't mention lunch no more. They're like, oh, I forgot about that.
Let me think about that lunch thing.
But then this is how I always come back in it. And I'm not claiming to be a good salesman at all. I'm an idiot. I do a podcast with y'all.
Yeah.
Must be an idiot.
But what I'm saying is I got a company credit card. And so if they're like, hey, we're going to, let's do lunch. And then then they don't mention it when they see me. They're like, oh, he's going to wreck a buffet. Mm-hmm. I'm like, don't worry about it. I got a company card. We'll go wherever you want to.
I mean, that's what they said. Well, we got a company card too, but it's got a limit on it. So,
I don't know my limit. I'm going to find it one day, I bet, but I don't know it. So it was fine. Everything worked out okay, and I didn't get fired yet.
Well, so that's good. And you said yet. Well, but how'd you get off these little Chinese people? We didn't get to talk about that.
Yeah. Sorry. So I was talking to
Linda.
Natalie. No. April gets passed because I met her. I met her a few times. She came.
She the one you picked up?
Yeah.
She a little bitty girl?
Yeah, I hoisted her aloft.
Did you?
Yeah. And so we were eating dinner out in Vegas, and the owner.
And they were out there.
Well, they came out to the show, and then they wanted to take us to dinner. This was 2 years ago, I think. Next year, they're doing the show again, so they'll come back out. We went to some restaurant, and
It wasn't a Japanese or Chinese restaurant, whatever.
no,
You didn't have to get down on your knees.
no, which is weird. They don't want to eat that. I guess that makes.
Hell, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I eat that every day.
Now that's a good point. I guess that makes sense. But they wanted to go to it was basically like an Applebee's in a casino. So it wasn't great. They ordered 4 of every appetizer. So mozzarella sticks comes in an order of 8. They ordered 4 orders. And then 4 orders of cheese dip and 4 orders of whatever else. There's like 74 plates on our table, and there's 8 people there. But they wanted to show off. They're like, "Oh, we
They weren't showing off. They were looking at you and saying,
That's a good point.
Order a bunch.
Yeah,
One for us, 3 for him.
Yeah, that's a good
Well,
point.
that's what it was, because they weighed like 32 pounds each.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look at big boy there. One for us, other girl said, one for us, 3 for him.
And so we're sitting there and we're eating, and they just keep bringing shit out. And finally, I see the waitress. She comes to fill up my water or whatever, and I look at her. I'm like, "Ma'am, have they ordered more food?" She said, "Yeah, they want another round of appetizers." I said, "Don't bring any more food." I took a whole plate of cheese sticks and put them under the table. There was no room. We didn't have any room. I couldn't get the waitress to come take them, so I just put them on the floor under the table. And so we're out there, we're eating, we're doing whatever, and that's when they were feeding us Chinese liquor, And so I was getting...
Hold up. You can't just skip over that.
Yeah, when you start talking about liquor and he perks up like that, you've done hit a soft spot.
My ear went up like that.
Yeah. It's like the bat signal went off, yeah.
You say beer and liquor ain't all
they brought some liquor called Baijiu, and it basically tastes like kerosene.
Good stuff.
But they were pouring shots, and this was the first time I had eaten with them. And when you eat with Chinese people, they want to get you shit-faced drunk. Well, they succeeded. Before I stood up from the table, me, Josh, and one other sales guy who's about your size took one for the team. And before we stood up from the table, we had all had 24 shots of liquor.
That's just getting ready to go out, though, for Buddy.
Well, yeah, after saying, and 36 cheese sticks.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I didn't eat a lot of the food, so then I got lost in Vegas. But that's another... Well, I think I've told that.
Hold on, I'm going to make sure I heard this right, because people can't see it. So you got lost in Vegas.
LOST in Vegas. Yeah.
I have to.
I mean...
Well,
we've been there, So at least we can all relate on that one.
Yeah.
But the little lady named April, she was...
she hitting on you?
No, not like she wasn't flirting. She was just excited to see a fat person get drunk, I think. And
because she ain't seen it in China, because they ain't none.
No.
I mean,
and so I was sitting next to an engineer named Vincent. Not his name.
No,
Chinese as a fuck.
No.
And then on the other side, I had my sales manager. He's from here. He's from around here. And I looked at him. I said, "Hey," I said, "when we get ready to leave, I said, can I, should I give her a hug? And he was like, yeah, everybody give her a hug." I was like, "I'm gonna pick her up." He said, "What?" I said, "I'm gonna pick her up and put her in the air." And he said,
"What you gonna do?"
He started laughing, and he said, "Like, you gonna pick her up off the ground?" I said, "Yeah." I said, she's going to love it. She's giggling about everything. So I said, probably because she doesn't know what we're saying. I said, but I'm going to give her a hug, pick her up. I said, make sure you got the camera ready. So we do have a picture of that. And this little 4'4" Chinese lady, I give her a hug and I pick her up and she's looking at the camera going, oh! And she loved it. And the crazy part was, and why I'm telling this story, I don't even know why I'm telling this story.
Well, we don't either.
I thought, so she's the...
We lost you when you said something about how high the doors was. I don't know.
Yeah. I was sitting there thinking, when they told me that, it was the next day at the show, and I was hurting pretty damn bad. So I'm basically wearing what I'm wearing now with my hood up. I'm in a trade show trying to sell shit, but I got sunglasses on indoors, so I'm already an asshole. And I'm sitting we had a couch in our booth, and I'm sitting here with my arms folded, my hood up, my sunglasses on, just trying not to throw up.
Sure, you know that.
And
I'm aware of that.
And I'm leaning there, and I'm just doing my best to just be alone and not. I showed up to work, but I'm not doing a lot. Yeah. And it happened.
Trying not to fall off that couch, ain't you?
It happened. Once I got in there, I wasn't moving. Unless I had to go pee or something, and then I'd figure it out. 2 people came by the booth that day, and they were like, and I could, I'm not looking. I'm trying to sleep, and and it's still a joke to this day because everybody that was there working with me knows how it went, And I hear 2 people come up that day, and I hear them say, "Hey, man, how you doing? Is Caleb here?" And audibly, out loud, I go, "Fuck." Because now I know I got to get up, take my sunglasses off, take my hood off, and get back in the damn selling shit. And I'm like, you guys don't know how bad I'm hurting. But I showed up to work, and the one guy did not show up to work. And we still give him the business, to this day about that. So, anyway, that's China. That's happened.
That's Vegas.
Yeah, God, I do not want to go. They try to get me to go.
You're going to have to go to China. Yeah, you are.
They're going to keep me. And in all fairness, you guys could do the podcast fine without me, but y'all don't know how to do the software.
Yeah, see, we have to hire somebody for that.
Y'all,
back in the red.
Y'all just be in here with microphones in front of you, not recording shit.
No,
and
just talking.
Just talking, and then be like, when's this going to come out?
Yeah, and
I went to the gas station this morning. Sorry, I'm not trying to commandeer the whole thing, but I had a story.
we like listening to your stories.
Sometimes they're entertaining, especially if
No, I didn't say that. I would listen to them.
Just like the way I sound, like
Yeah,
the way I talk.
right.
Like
I like the way you talk.
the dressing Paul Newman. He's like, and this is the rest of the story. Is that the guy?
Paul Newman.
Yeah,
He
Paul
does.
Newman,
He makes
Paul
salad
Harvey,
dressing.
Some of them
And,
Pauls.
yeah.
Peter, Paul,
Apostle
and Mary.
Paul.
Yeah.
All them Pauls.
Any of them, yeah.
Tiger Pauls. All them Pauls.
That old asshole used to live next door. We ran over a damn stop sign with Earl's trailer, and he got all pissed about it, come flying up on his golf cart.
Don't tell her about his trailer.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, this is the trailer we gave him back, not the one that we left in. Where was we at? Charlotte?
No, it was Nashville's the one where his camper. Yep. Anyway, I went to the gas station this morning to get gas.
Maybe.
Yeah. And
Imagine that. I knew it was either that or you had to poop.
I was
didn't
there.
know which.
I ain't pooping in a gas station. I'll find a hotel lobby or somebody's house.
A hotel lobby.
Yep.
That could get ugly.
Whoa, hold on.
They ain't gonna like that.
Bathroom in the lobby.
Okay.
Because
Makes more sense. They probably won't care about that.
they got bathrooms in the lobbies of hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody shits in them. You know why? Because everybody there is staying in a room and they got their own private bathroom. Me, I know the secret. If I got to poop, I go in the lobby because ain't nobody used it.
Except the janitor.
I went in there one day, though, and I don't know if I didn't lock the door or if it didn't have a good seal, but I was in there pooping, just contemplating life, and a small Mexican lady just opened the door, walked right in, and I was like,
See?
and she goes, oh. And I don't think it wasn't because of the.
How'd she do again?
it wasn't because of the poop stink, but she was like, "Oh," and I think I surprised her. We surprised each other.
It was a poop stink.
Okay. 64.
How's she go again?
Oh. And it was alarming to both of us.
Especially to her.
And
she started crying.
She did not. We exchanged numbers. She makes wonderful tacos. Her name's Lucinda. She lives in Easley, so I don't get them often. But
when I'm heading that way,
yeah.
Lucinda hook up and I eat tacos.
I went, which is ironic because that's probably why I ended up in that bathroom in the first place. But I went to the gas station.
It's called the circle of life.
Yeah, yeah. I went to the gas station this morning to get gas, and it was 7:30 in the morning, and I'm the only one there when I walk in. Well, then I come out and there's
Ain't nobody working there?
No. I forget what they call that guy, but he's
Tourette's.
No. Huh. He's of Indian descent. Somewhere in the Middle Asian.
He smells like what?
Part of
Pakistan.
Yeah, somewhere like that. But he
got that curry stuff.
He got one pinky nail that's real long. And I'm like, oh, I know what that's for.
Oh, I thought you was like, that's what he does. Get out of here, mister.
Nah. He's just using the wrong finger. He'd flip me off. He's like, you fat. And I'm like, no. He's very nice. Both of his sons work there, and they're good guys too. So went in there, paid for my gas, came back out, and there was a older, like your old truck. What's your oldest truck?
89.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you had an older one.
What's what, 52 model?
No.
That old Ford truck, that's not mine.
Oh, okay.
It's 1970.
That's what he had. This guy had.
Yeah.
You just stored it at your house, right?
Yeah. He had. Speaking of which, we need to talk about a truck from you.
We're going to China.
We're gonna get there. So I'm walking out, and I got a Gatorade in my hand, and all of a sudden I hear this guy go, "Hey!" And normally when I hear that, I just put my head down and walk on, pretend like I'm deaf. I'm
like it wasn't talking to you.
Yeah.
But you was the only one there.
Yeah. So I had to acknowledge it, and he said, "Hey." And I put my Gatorade in the truck, and I looked back, and I said, "Hey." Waved, And he said, you help me out, do me a favor? And I was like,
Probably not.
No, I don't know you that well.
I said, nah. I said, well, I don't, what is it? I said, help me pump this gas. And he was probably.
He was one of them paraglider, what?
No,
what you call him?
he was probably 60 to 70 years old. Not doing well like y'all doing. He was 5 foot,
Dang.
5'6".
He must have been crawling.
He was in bad shape.
He was about 5'6", about 378 pounds, and he was on crutches, and his ankles were the size of my thighs. And he said, "Will you help me pump this gas?" I said,
"What's wrong with his hands?"
I don't think he had anything wrong with his hands. I think he had more issues with standing for, a minute and a half to pump gas.
I was going to say, would you get him a chair out?
And I was like, I decided in that moment, it was a split-second decision. I'm either going to be an asshole to this guy and, do like I did in the meeting and tell him to fuck off, or I'm going to try to help him out. And I decided I was going to help him out. So I said, yeah, I'll help you out. He said, oh, thank you, sir. I said, well, don't call me sir. You're a senior citizen. So I start pumping this feller's gas, and I said, you can go get back on in the truck. I don't want to see you no more. And so he
told me, man, I just don't want to see you no more. Get back in the truck.
Yeah, I was like, get on out of here. Y'all, I'm already doing your damn job for you. So I said, you can get back in the truck. I got it.
What did his wife say?
She was not there. He was flying solo this morning. And so I'm pumping his gas, and I, waiting. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this truck is probably going to take 78 gallons.
70 gallons.
Yeah. Because he had the 2 tanks. What the problem was, and I almost asked him, but he pulled up to the pump. He did, hey, quit it.
Just so y'all know, since we don't have cameras, he's not talking to Earl.
No, I'm talking to Skillet. He's out there. He's
Acting
doing
like a
downward dog. His ass is in the air for no fucking reason, and his face is on the ground. Anyway, so he pulled up to the pump. So I'm like, well, he knows. Hopefully, he knows what gas he needs. But he had the dual tanks. I'm like, I think this is normally reserved for diesel. If I don't know, but whatever. So I'm pumping him regular gas in a truck that I believe is probably diesel. He can figure that out later, you know.
Yeah, the tow truck and the repair shop can figure that out.
Yeah. And so I'm pumping his gas, and I kind of take a peek over in the bed of his truck, and then I realize...
There's a dead deer in there.
No. Then I realized, you know what? I should have just...
Kept on going.
Yeah. He had dirty dishes. Like dinner plates that you have in your cabinet with food in them laying in the bed of his truck. So that was the first thing that I was like, well, this is fucking weird. And it wasn't, it looked like fish bones or something. It wasn't like a chicken wing or a steak, And
So what was the difference between a fish bones and chicken wing and a steak or something?
I could recognize a loose chicken wing, or like a T-bone steak. That wasn't it. These were little.
Hadn't you ever seen cartoons where they pull it out, the fish bones?
Well, that's what it looked like.
Oh,
so that's why I knew it was fish bones.
Oh well.
And then I'm thinking,
why?
Yeah,
I don't see no rod and reel. Is that what you thought?
No, I thought, he ate dinner last night on the tailgate out here. His wife said, go outside. I don't want you in here. You out of gas already or whatever.
Yeah, you smell bad. You smell like gas.
And I thought, this sumbitch ate dinner, put the bones back on the plate, and then put the plate in the bed of his truck. And I thought, well, this is fucking
weird. Go out to eat tonight, too.
And then I started looking around further, and he had,
Well, you're sniffing around this man's truck. He just wants you to pump his gas.
Well, I'm pumping his gas, and it's taking time, and now I'm bored, so I'm looking. And he had... a
lottery ticket?
Oh. He had like Christmas ornaments, which is fair. It's January.
Time to be taking them down?
Yeah. But just loose, like not in a box, just loose ones laying in the truck rolling around. I'm like, so you got a plate full of dinner bones and loose ornaments. And then I saw a...
Baby goat?
Nope. What I saw was a propane tank.
Oh,
just rolling around. Dangerous. Upon further investigation, it was not a propane tank. It was a helium tank.
Did you get in the back of this man's truck? You didn't have to climb in?
No. This is in the bed of his truck, and I'm standing there pumping his gas, and so I'm taking a look and seeing, like, hey, who is this guy? Is something wrong with him?
Sounds like he's a nut job.
And you could tell by looking in the bed of his truck who this guy was?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, who was it?
A nut job.
Probably a pervert. Who in the fuck has a helium tank?
And Christmas ornaments.
Clowns.
And fish bones.
This guy's out here moonlighting as a clown, I bet, on crutches.
You don't know.
And there's
sound like to me this guy here's a partier. There wasn't a baby goat nowhere, was there?
No.
Okay, well.
There's nothing sadder other than like death than a clown that you hire to come do balloon animals and shit at your birthday, and he shows up on crutches.
With a full tank of gas.
Yeah, full tank of helium, big shoes, makeup.
Christmas ornaments everywhere.
But he's on crutches. And I'm sitting there thinking, if I hired this guy to come do a birthday party and make balloon animals for children, and he showed up how he is, he had a safety vest on.
One of them that you can see from a mile away.
One of them, highlighter yellow safety vest.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, he don't work. I know he don't work. He's got a handicap sticker in his truck. He's getting dole pay, whatever. And, but he got out and he had a safety vest on, and then he was on crutches, and I was like, So while I'm pumping gas, everything's coming together, and I'm like, I don't like this guy. He's not doing the Lord work. He's out here. You know what I'm saying? He's out here doing something he ought not be doing.
You judging this poor man.
Yeah. Well, fuck him. He ought not have fishbone.
Listen, this poor old man has spent like 39 hours coloring his safety vest with that highlighter.
Yeah.
And you judging the poor old man. He's trying to be safe out there. And you don't know, he might have picked these fish bones and these Christmas ornaments and all that stuff outside the road or something.
Maybe it was trash. He was taking it to the dump.
Cleaning up trash on the side of the road.
I should not have been as judgmental as I was. But I was. And I decided I don't like this guy. And so he got back and he waddled and wedged himself back in his truck, and the gas pump stopped.
Which is good because he was pulling off.
No. And I was like, oh, well, I guess it filled up or whatever. And then I looked, and it was $16.35. And I thought, well, so I said, hey, man, I said, you reckon $16 fill this thing up? He said,
Nope.
Yeah.
$16.35.
He said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, well, the pump stopped, so I'm going to hang it back up, and you can go on about your business. And he said, you put that gas cap back on there for me? I said, yeah, I'll do it. And then I thought, I really don't like this guy now, because
he didn't get the $16.35.
He didn't need gas.
Nah.
He just wanted to make sure it was full. Like, he got 2 tanks.
And he saw somebody susceptible like you.
Me,
He
yeah.
said, I get that fat boy right there.
Yeah.
Pump my gas. Hey, you. Can you pump my gas?
Yeah. And that's what he did, and that's what I did.
And you did.
And you fell for it.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. Normally, I'm very unapproachable, apparently. I got my hood up. I don't smile. I'm bigger than most people. So people think, oh, shit, that guy's angry. Well, I'm not angry. I got Skittles in my pocket. Boy, I'm happy as fuck. But
Skittles. How'd you get in his pocket?
yeah, oh, no, he don't fit in the pocket.
And goat stretching.
Yeah. But I couldn't be happier. But I want people to think, oh, he's mad. Don't talk to that guy. And it saves me from
Having to talk to
Speaking
people.
of that,
gas.
like you said, some people, when you meet them, you go, ooh, whoa, and you I don't know, you go to the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Walk on.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
go
yeah,
on,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
on that
yeah,
side, Why is that, reckon?
racism mostly,
that what
probably.
it is?
Yeah.
White supremacy.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. You don't want to. My thing is I'll approach anybody if I had to. I'm not going to ask somebody to pump my gas. I don't need help.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'll ask him, you got a yo-yo I can borrow here?
sometimes I think, like this guy, this guy's probably fine. I'm probably just making it more than it is, but I don't think he's a pervert or, a demonic spirit or whomever. But he just, nothing added up.
It all came across wrong.
Yeah, and I just kind of had an uneasy feeling, and I'm like, oh, we going to see this little bastard on Dateline or something. Lester Holt's going to have to figure out why he committed this crime. And then I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? It could just be somebody's grandpa.
Well, it probably was somebody's grandpa. Was he in an old truck or a newer truck?
Very old truck.
Very old?
Mm-hmm. 79 model or whatever else.
It had a Pinto gas tank, I guess. Apparently, because $16.35, that was 4 gallons.
No. I think it was. I think he already had the one. So how does it even work? The trucks with 2 tanks. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. How does that work? You just run on one and flip your switch and hit the other one?
Yeah.
Oh.
How do you think it worked? Yeah, take one off,
Honestly, I didn't know.
drag it around the other side, put it back up under
No.
there.
See, I bet if your company thinks about it, y'all probably make a little 3-way valve to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Flip the switch and it goes from this one to this one.
Yeah. Honestly, we do make a valve like that.
There you go.
Too bad you can't set
So he's a paying customer now.
I make a selector valve like that. I also make a ball valve that's manual, so you have to, shutter and do the handle and whatnot. But that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I always just assume that when one
He
tank.
might be the one that's keeping your job for you.
No,
Or maybe not.
no.
Never mind then.
Anybody's keeping my job is me. I go in there and motherfuck everybody and get away with it. So, yeah. I just didn't know. I figured that, hey, one ran out, other one kicks on, you good to go. Keep hoofing.
Well,
That's not how it works.
that's why I'm sitting here thinking you filled the wrong thing up.
I think he needed diesel. You know, and I hate
That
it for
would have been a
him.
good question to ask before you filled him up.
Well, he was lucky that I actually decided I would help. You know, you pulled up to this gas pump. This is on
I
you.
can hear him right now driving off. Asshole puts gas in diesel truck.
Yeah. Do with his hands like that too. Just
Yeah.
this asshole. Not even holding the steering wheel, just holding it with his crutches or whatever. Yeah.
And his foot, he drives with his foot out like that. He had to use the gas and brake with his foot.
Yeah.
So that right
What's
there,
the
it stiffens up on him.
what's the button over on the left side? What is that for?
On the left side of what?
Oh, the floorboard. Where you got the gas, you got your gas, your brake, and then you got your button over here.
Oh, dimming the light.
Dim your lights, yeah.
What?
That's how you used to dim your lights.
That seems very efficient. Why
It
the fuck they
was.
put it up here?
It worked.
It
It
was.
worked for
Yeah.
years and years and years.
Huh.
And before that, they had another little switch down there, like
That was your
like
starter.
that one. That was your starter.
They
You didn't turn your key over. You just turned it. You turned it on, and then you pushed that right there to get it started.
Huh.
Yep.
I knew there was buttons down there, but I didn't know what they
There
was
used to be
for.
a starter button in the floor and a light dimmer switch was in the floor.
You wouldn't have done well back when we had those. I mean,
You didn't have enough feet.
well, no, but he did. He had first in there trying to push it with his finger.
No, what? No, you guys are retarded.
And going down the road, that would be bad.
No. I got big feet. I push all of them at one time, 1 foot. Yeah, I didn't know what the button was for. I thought it was
What did you think it was?
like the horn. Seems like that'd be a good place to put that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it would have confused people if you'd had.
I'd have liked for us to find one of those and tie it together where it dims the lights, but every time you dim the lights, it beeps the horn. So I was like, "Look out, here I come!" You know.
I've
thinking,
seen that done. People wiring the damn brake light to the horn.
Oh,
and every
yeah.
time you put the brakes on, the horn goes on.
We
yeah,
used to have all kind of fun, okay? Like it used to be, like you could buy a harmonica for 99 cents.
put it on the tailpipe and let it make noise. Yeah,
It's like, what the hell is that noise?
yeah.
You hear it noise?
I used to
hear
put
nothing.
I used to put big balloons over the tailpipe on Dale's
Van.
yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently that's unsafe, but I wasn't driving. You know, so I was going home in my car.
And he was down the road 2 miles anyway, so.
Yeah, until he heard it go pow. You know, he was like, "All right, backfired."
And it scared him.
Yeah. I remember one day I filled up his van with balloons and a skeleton. The crazy part is I don't even remember where we got that skeleton, but we had it was like what do they call them before what do you call people before they're fully developed?
Kids.
Yeah, but no.
Children.
Yeah, no.
What you call it?
No, like.
You want to get on midgets again, ain't you?
No, thems ain't humans.
And you can't get on no midget.
Those,
You pick up a Chinese girl, but don't get on no midget.
I ain't touching no midget, dude. I don't want none of that shit on me. Back in the early times before, when cavemen was a thing and they had.
No, we don't know.
We ain't that old.
Oh. But they was smaller, they was.
Chinese.
No.
That was the Fagawis.
Yeah. No, it starts with an N, like.
Not Neanderthal. They were
Yeah.
Fagawis.
Oh.
You know what Fagawi is, don't you?
No.
Fagawis, the little bitty short people that run around in the big old tall bush over in Africa. They couldn't see where they were going. They'd run around yelling, "Where the Fagawi? Where the Fagawi?"
Oh, shit.
They was everywhere too.
Yeah. Oh, they're like the pygmies over there in New Guinea. or
Now,
whatever.
don't call them pygmies a hog and nothing like that. They can't got that. Kind of like your man in that truck.
Yeah.
Don't judge them. You don't know nothing about them.
Yeah. Well, I had a skeleton for one of them, and I put it in the driver's
Skeleton of one of what?
small of Fugawe Neanderthals or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Small person.
Nope. Don't have a clue.
I'm not gonna
Where'd you
say.
get a skeleton from a small person?
I'm not saying it was a child.
You can't have a skeleton. That's against the law. I guess that.
I don't know. I don't.
You can buy one.
You can buy a skeleton.
You can buy a legit human skeleton. and keep it in your house. Mm-hmm. Earl, when's your birthday? Sorry. Come August. Know what we're doing. I put a skeleton in the front seat of that fella's van, and I filled it up with 24-inch balloons. You know, just two
big balloons.
Yeah, and
so when it got time for us to go home from work, what happened? He got in the van. And
he went out there to his van and opened the door, and balloons started coming out.
He did K.
He got the first part. See, that's what I'd like to do. I like to have jokes that are
two-part,
layered,
three-part,
tiered. 2, 3, 4, 6-part jokes. Because
it's like a wedding cake.
It's hilarious to have a van full of balloons. It's even funnier when he's like, I got to get all these out of here before I go. So he lets all of them out. And then he goes to get in the truck and he's like, whoa, shit, there's a skeleton in here. Like, it's twofold.
2 for 1.
Then he gets used to that skeleton, go down the road and there's a balloon on his tailpipe.
Yeah. And then it blows, it sparks off about 2 miles down. And
he reaches over and slaps that skeleton.
Yeah.
Thought
he did it. Yeah. That was a good one. What was the other, what was I going to tell you? Something else?
When we took the Christmas decoration down off the pole and.
Oh, God dang. I did do that. You know how they put the, when you go through Seneca, in Christmas time, they put the things on the power poles or what, the lights.
Supposed to look like snowflakes, ain't they?
Well, they got like little, not dwarfs, but like
midgets
making toys, smalls. Mm-hmm. And then they got snowflakes, and then they got Christmas trees, and right out in front of the dealership, they were laying them out on the pole to get ready to put them up
the next day.
So I took it upon myself to say, hey,
bring this inside.
I'm going to put this in somebody's office. And so there was a fella that worked there, and I took his desk out of his office, and I put in 2 chairs like these and a fake fireplace insert from the waiting area, and I put that in his office. And and what you don't realize is the lights on the poles, when you see them, you're like, oh, those are cool. Well, this son of a bitch
but they're about 8 feet tall.
Yeah, this thing was about 8 foot by 8 foot. So I wedge it in his office and I plug it in so it's lit up. I leave the lights off and turn the fireplace on. And so it's Santa's work, Santa's waiting area or whatever. And he comes in the next day, and the problem is he was in the city council of Seneca. So now
he knew where it came from.
So now I've already done something here that's a problem. But he has to deal with it because he's on the council. And so
first they called us.
Yeah.
They called dealerships down there and said, y'all know what happened to our ornament? I said, nope, Ronnie does. Hold on.
Yeah. And that was when Dad, he was looking out for me, basically my whole life. But he was like, oh, I don't, in his mind, he's like, fuck, okay.
Got to bail him out of jail again.
But then he was like, nope, don't know what happened, but I know who does. And the guy who we put it in his office was in the city council. And so he came in the next morning, and everybody knew it was me, because I'm always cracking jokes. And so.
But we blame him.
You
can't put this in your office.
He walks in his office and he looks. There's no desk. There are 2, nice chairs, a fake fireplace, and a humongous snowflake. and I went in and I took there were the fluorescent lights, I twisted them all out. So if he flipped the switch, they're not coming on. You're not getting light in here. You got to work by snowflake. And he went in, looked in his office, came back out, and he goes, okay, we get this shit out of my office.
Kay said, yeah, but you got to explain to city council what you did.
I said, yeah, I'll get it out. I'll take it out of here. I said, but city's on line 1 looking for the snowflake. So if you'll handle that, I'll handle this. One time I like messing with him because he thought he was real fancy. He thought he was important.
Uppity.
Yeah. And so one time he went to lunch, and I went in his office, and I put a program on his computer that every time he typed something, it made bird sounds.
Or animal sounds.
Yeah, like different bird, like, you know. And so he would, you know, and he typed like this. He wasn't a stoop. So he was typing, and I turned his speakers all the way up, and he didn't know how to turn them back down. And so he had a customer in there, and he's typing. And
It was the president of Clips and Max. What's his name before they changed?
Oh yeah, which actually worked out because that's where I got my Tahoe from. He traded in a Tahoe, and I bought it.
Yeah.
But he's typing, and all these bird sounds are going on, and he doesn't know why. And so he comes next door. He looks in my office. He said, "Will you come look at my computer?" He said, "It's making a lot of sounds." I said, "That's weird." He said, "They sound like birds." I was like, "It's even weirder." It's crazy. So I go, and I know he's selling a car, so I turn it off. And about a couple months later, I decided I was going to do it again. But this time it was different gun sounds. So you had a rifle or a 22 or a 12 gauge, you know, and every time he clicks, pow, 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 pow. Sound like World War I in there. And that was good. And then Dale, the guy that I put the balloons in his van, he would smoke a cigarette and put in a big chew at the same time.
So, done that?
So he would, yeah.
And eat Ritz crackers.
Yeah, I've eaten a.
Why you drinking a Coke?
I've been to Cleveland's Burger Boy and eat a cheeseburger and fries with a dip of rum barrel in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. A dip or a chew?
Chew.
Yeah. Oof.
Wad, whatever you want to call it.
If I put a chew in there, I'm going to shit within 14 minutes.
You got to be tough.
And I'm going to shit for about
And
48
listen,
minutes.
You're confused. You don't put it down there. You put it in your mouth.
No.
You're misusing the product.
So we in the
There's
summer.
a warning on it, matter of fact, about that.
Yeah, it tells you, hey,
For people like you.
this is going to cause tongue cancer, and also don't put it in your asshole.
Yeah, you get anal cancer too.
Yeah.
You know,
In the summertime, we would grill out hot dogs and hamburgers on Saturdays for customers. Anybody that was there, come eat.
Well, I wish I'd known that.
You came by. You were there, I think. And then, but Dale was not. Dale was so out there. He was big. He was my size, my height, but a humongous belly on him, you know. But his hands didn't look like my hands. His hands looked like a damn baseball mitt with no stitching. He had fingers that were ruined a lady's entire life. He would get on the grill and not have a way to turn the hot dogs.
he'd reach down and get
It
them.
just turn them, just by hand. Just right there on the fucking flame.
Sometimes we
Didn't
could
give a
have a
shit.
pot on the grill
Side
out
burner,
there.
yeah.
Put his finger in
He
it.
just stir it with his fucking finger. And I'm like, this guy.
Dale, that's 199 degrees. Yeah, it's hot.